Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Rick Farzy, and this is the Farzy Show, presented by Steven Singer. Steven Singer Jewelers. Lovely to have you along for the ride, ladies and gentlemen. Phillies are back over 500. James Harden, the top priority for the 76ers, and not pursuing Bradley Beal. I'm okay with not pursuing Bradley Beal. The second part of that statement, the first part of that statement, James Harden is a priority. That is no bueno. Don't like that. Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports discusses that. We'll talk about that on the show today. And, of course, we'll talk about the Philadelphia Flyers. Bring it back. One of my favorites of all time, Mr. John LeClaire. And am I being suckered? Am I being suckered? I might be being suckered. Are we being suckered? We might be being suckered by the Philadelphia Flyers. But anyway, good to have one of my favorites back in town as a special advisor in the front office, Mr. Johnny LeClaire, Mr. 50 goals in 3 seasons, and I hope somehow that magically helps being a senior advisor in the front office for the Philadelphia Flyers. We'll get into all that and more on today's program, and also bowling ball size hail. That happened in the Philadelphia area. Let's get into it, but let's start it off with our beloved Philadelphia Phillies, ladies and gentlemen, who have won 10 of 12 and are finally over 500. 35 and 34 on the season. Don't worry about how many games back they are in the National League East. That's not it. We don't need to know about that right now. All we need to talk about is how they are one game over 500. It's been a long road ahead for the Philadelphia Phillies trying to get back over 500. It's been over a month since they got over 500. What, that Cubs series? A million years ago, it feels like. I talked about it yesterday. Rob Thompson said, before they went on this road trip, they've been doing a great job of winning at home. But as far as winning on the road, a .371 winning percentage on the road. Now they start out this 7-game run. And this is the thing, they just start out the 7. It's just a one series, the first series of 2 series out on the road. And the Philadelphia Phillies take 3 of 4 from the first place Arizona Diamondbacks after taking 2 of 3 from the LA Dodgers, and previous to that, sweeping the Tigers, and previous to that, taking 2 or 3 for the Nationals. So the Phillies have won 4 straight series. Again, 10 out of 12 to make it back over the 500 mark. And you're seeing guys now in the month of June just absolutely mash. And it's not just guys named Kyle Schwarber. It's Bryson Stott. It's Nick Castellanos. Bryce Harper isn't having a tremendous June, but yesterday came up with the game-winning hit in the 4th inning. Guys are coming up with big hits, and they are responding. Whenever they face adversity, they are responding to that adversity, and that's what they did in these 3 games. Now, the Arizona Diamondbacks, let me just say this. I am not used to watching a Phillies game or a Phillies series and watching the Phillies be the team that is the closest to fundamentally sound. Normally, I'm yelling and screaming at the Phillies, and I'm going, why can't they be like the other team? The other team is so fundamentally sound. It's so great. And then the Phillies are just, what are they doing? Now, notice how I phrase it. They're the closest to fundamentally sound. They're not fundamentally sound. Example number 1, Kyle Schwarber overrunning that baseball off the bat of McCarthy, and we'll get to that. And a run ended up scored. Anyway, even if McCarthy was held to a single on that play. But if you're Kyle Schwarber, I'm not expecting you to catch that baseball. I'm not expecting you to make some great sliding or diving catch to come up with that. I'm not even expecting to make it on a full sprint, coming in and catching it while it's still on 2 feet. But you know what I do expect? You to be able to judge that that baseball is one that you're not going to get to, and you hold up, let it bounce to you, and you hold McCarthy to a single. Seems easy enough. But instead, he overruns it by a mile, and Brandon Marsh has to come over from center field to back him up, and he gives McCarthy a double on that play. Definitely grinded my gears. But what happened after that? What I just said. They found a way to respond to adversity, and they did that in every single game. Whether it was the Diamondbacks, they give them a nice little head like they did in Game 3 of this series by dropping a ball with a collision in shallow right field, or it's a ball popping out of the middle of McCarthy in center field for different reasons, mostly off the bat of Bryce Harper. It was just an incredible series, an absolutely incredible series. If their starting pitcher, Aaron Nola, gives up a 3-run home run and surrenders the lead, they found a way to come back and bail them out. What a series. What a win yesterday for the Phillies. And now they go to face the heartbroken Oakland A's and leave it. It is wild to me, kind of growing up at the tail end of that Oakland A's push, World Series and the Rickey Henderson, Bash Brothers era and all that, and just thinking about how majestic that team was at the time. The home run thing, I mean, obviously people had home run hitters, but like they hit them like the A's were hitting them back in the day. Oh, my goodness. Like everybody, if you played a video game, you wanted to be the A's because you wanted to mash. But anyway, the Phillies now go on to face that team, and I loved what Bryce Harper had to say when he was asked about what it would mean, or would he ever want to play for a Las Vegas baseball team going back to his hometown and playing for the Las Vegas Athletics. Well, we'll let you know what he had to say coming up in just a little bit, but let's get into this baseball game first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? Hold on. Before I go any further, I'm looking at the chat early, and I want to make sure I get this in because I didn't hit this yesterday, and I wish I did. So as of yesterday, I told you guys about playing in the NRG charity flag football game. Unfortunately, I didn't get many opportunities to unleash the beast that is the cannon that I have for an arm. For those that missed yesterday's show, here's what I'm talking about. You get the idea, okay? I can sling it, folks. And loyal friend of the show, in the comments right now, Dan, I want to get you early here because in case you got to run and do something else, I just want to make sure I get you and I show the appreciation. Dan put together this incredible fan art. Is it fan art, PJ? Can we call this fan art? Does somebody have to be naked for it to be fan art, technically? No? Okay, cool. He put together this fan art, and Dan, I just want to let you know how greatly I appreciate this. This is beautiful. I might print this. I might go to FedEx. I might print this out. I might frame it in a beautiful, majestic frame, and I just might put it on my wife's nightstand. That's all. Maybe that's what I'll do. I don't know. But this is an incredible piece of fan art. For the people on the podcast, Dan basically took me throwing the football for a touchdown in the NRG charity flag football game 4 years ago and made an incredible piece of fan art featuring a cannon, 5 different shots of me in almost a cartoonish form. Well, a cartoonish form. And he has all phases of me getting the toss, gearing up to make the throw, and then finally the follow-through. So, Dan Schwartz, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel, thank you. Appreciate you, buddy. As for yesterday's NRG charity flag football game, not good. Not good. First off, I had a bad feeling when I got an email from the organizers saying some people had to bail, so we had to shuffle the deck, and you're on a different team now. Meanwhile, I found out I was going to be playing with my man E-Rock. E-Rock and I were going to be on the same team. What did he say? Chrome Dome End Zone? And I'm like, my man, I like it. I was like, bald ballers, let's go. And they said that we've announced the trade. That they traded me to CHOP. So I played for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. And all I have to say is, I'm sorry, kids. I had a couple of catches, made a couple of plays, had a couple of good, really vicious tackles. Like when I pulled that person's flag, oh man, it was NFL Greatest Hits videos, Volume 5. But man, we did not win yesterday. We came in of 4 teams. We came in somehow 5th. That's how bad we played. It was not good. It was not. I'll just say this: AJ Feely did the best he could as our coach. But we were just a band of misfits, basically. My friend Bex, my old friend Bex from the radio, she was there yesterday. She was on my squad. We had some fun, man. We had a lot of fun. But you know what? Nobody cares about fun in competition. They care about winning, and that's not something we did yesterday. So, to the children, I apologize. To the entire CHOP organization, I appreciate you trading for my services. I'm sorry that I let you down. I take full responsibility. I got to do a better job of putting my fat ass in a better position to make plays. That's what I have to say. But hey, we did have fun. So those Philadelphia Phillies. Let's talk about a team that's actually winning, and that's the Phils. I rattled off the stats for you guys before, but I got to get into this game yesterday because it was just something special, to say the least. To see this team jump out to leads, and even when they struggle, find a way to fight back into these games, it has been absolutely fantastic to talk about this Phillies team. Most notably, Bryson Stott. Now, I have rattled off for you guys before the stats and the numbers about what this team's doing in June, and we'll do that again today with an update after everybody hit yesterday, including Garrett Stubbs, little bunt single, my man Garrett Stubbs. Had a couple of great defensive plays as well, but we'll get to that. But this Phillies squad was just making things happen yesterday, up and down the diamond, all over the diamond, around the horn, throughout the game, and it was great. Let's pick it up here in the first inning. Kyle Schwarber leads things off by popping out to third. Then Trey Turner flies out to center field. Nick Castellanos gets a single to left field, so you got a runner on base, and Bryce Harper, unfortunately, strikes out. Now, the bottom of the first inning. This was a great inning for Aaron Nola, a 13-pitch inning, including a strikeout of Marte on a knuckle curve that was just a thing of beauty. Then you go into that second inning, and Bryson Stott. If you watch these games, man, Bryson Stott takes hacks at pitches high in the zone. He loves the idea of tomahawking a pitch. So don't get me wrong. I love that he tomahawked this pitch on out of the stadium. However, 418 feet to be exact. But it's one of those things that you do it 10 times and maybe you get this result once. So maybe it's one of those things that's going to lead him to hacking at more high pitches in the zone, which I wish he wouldn't. But, man, he just unleashed the fury on this one. I think it was a 96-mile-per-hour fastball, 95-mile-per-hour fastball up in the zone, and he just tomahawked it out of the stadium for a 1-0 lead. Then Bohm got a single. That was a first pitch hit as well, just like Stott's home run was on the first pitch of the at-bat. Phillies would go on, I believe, have 5 or 6 first pitch hits in this game. Then Clemens flies out the center field. Marsh goes up there with the double just at the base of the wall, just missing a home run, a common theme for the Phillies throughout the ball game, going with warning track power, WTP, folks. Marsh gets that double on a 7-pitch at bat, flies out, puts it in the warning track to deep center field. Stubbs strikes out. Schwarber gets a walk. Now you got the bases loaded. You got Trey Turner coming in. He gets the infield RBI hustle single. You were watching it develop, and he just beat him. Just beat Nielsen out there to first base to get the RBI single in that scenario. Phillies go up 2-0. Nick Castellanos grounds out the first to end it. When the dust settled, it was a 2-run, 27-pitch inning. Nielsen there, the pitcher for the Diamondbacks. Bottom of the second inning, Walker grounds out on the comebacker to Aaron Nola. Gurriel strikes out on the knuckle curve, and Rojas strikes out on the knuckle curve. First 2 innings there for Aaron Nola. Oh, beautiful. Vintage Aaron Nola, ladies and gentlemen. Vintage Aaron Nola. So then you go into the third inning. You get a RBI double from Alec Boehm. Again, this was a first pitch swing, and the Phillies go up 3-0. Then in the bottom of the third inning, McCarthy hits that bloop to left field, shallow left field. Kyle Schwarber is fee-fi-fo-fumming it in to try to make a play on the baseball. Overruns it drastically. I was like, what was that ball doing that made Kyle Schwarber think that he was going to either get there and catch it on the fly or maybe catch it on a bounce? What made him do it? Originally, it was charged as an error to Kyle Schwarber, and then the error was taken away. So then if McCarthy scores, the run is charged to Aaron Nola, and that's, of course, what ended up happening. So then you go into that bottom of the third inning, McCarthy gets the single, and then Moreno comes up there and gets the RBI single. McCarthy could take second base on the error, allegedly, but they later give him the double. Moreno goes up there and he gets the RBI single, so it's 3-1. Perdomo gets a single to center field. It's first and second with no outs. He gets Smith to ground out to shortstop. You have second and third with 1 out. Marte steps to the plate, and you could not have hung a curveball on the outside portion of the plate more than Aaron Nola did yesterday with this home run for Marte. 3-run home run, right field, into the pool deck at Arizona Stadium. It's a 4-3 ball game. Phillies are trailing now. Now the bases are empty. This is important. Carroll strikes out. Walker grounds out to short. Now, Aaron Nola with nobody on. We're going to hear from Rob Thompson coming up in just a second about Aaron Nola's splits here, because Aaron Nola with nobody on base holds opponents to a batting average of 191. Aaron Nola with runners on base goes from a 191 opponent's batting average to 304 with runners on. 191 to batting over 300. Out of the stretch, Aaron Nola has had struggles. Now, you heard Ruben Amaro Jr. talking about it on the broadcast yesterday. They're trying to pinpoint what he's doing wrong. After the game, we'll hear from Rob Thompson. They've looked at the tape, and they got nothing. John Middleton comes down to the dugout. John Middleton comes down to the clubhouse. James Dombrowski comes down to the clubhouse. Hey, guys, what are we doing? What's happening? What's going on with Aaron Nola? What is the problem? I don't know. Okay, thank you. So, Aaron Nola gets a runner on there. It's a 3-1 ball game before you blink, and then all of a sudden you blink twice, and it's 4-3 in favor of the Arizona Diamondbacks. But what did I say, folks? What did I say? The Phillies find a way to pick themselves back up and bail out their pitcher. Garrett Stubbs leads off the fourth inning with a walk. Kyle Schwarber doubled down the right field line, just mashed a curveball. Got a first pitch, matched a changeup, first pitch changeup down the right field line. Stubbs huffing and puffing around second, around third, and he scores on the head first slide into home. It's now a 4-4 ball game. You're all tied up. Trey Turner gets a single on what? A first pitch at bat. Cutter gets a cutter there. He puts it into right field. Now you have first and third with nobody out. Nick Castellanos flies out to shallow left field, so no ability to tag there. But Bryce Harper comes up to the plate, and in the fourth inning gets what would be the game-winning hit with an RBI single in the left center field. 5-4 ball game. Kyle Schwarber comes around to score. First and second, one out. Stott, unfortunately, strikes out. Bohm flies out to deep center field. Again, another warning track power situation. Then you go into the fourth inning. Oh, Aaron Nola back to cruise control. Gurriel strikes out on the curve. Rojas strikes out. McCarthy strikes out on a sinker. He strikes out the side of the bottom of the fourth inning. Going to the fifth inning. Nothing doing. Going to the sixth inning. Phillies started to get robbed here defensively by the Diamondbacks. Diving catches all over the place, including Carroll makes a great sliding catch. If Carroll doesn't make that play on the ball, that might be a triple for Trey Turner, because you have to wait for McCarthy to make it all the way over to left field, like in almost not in the corner, but like close to the corner, far left field, I'll call it. With Trey Turner's speed and that ball bouncing, oh man, he has an opportunity there to get a triple. At least a double out of it, but Carroll made a fantastic play, a sliding play to catch that baseball. So Turner gets robbed in that scenario. Castellanos gets an infield single off Perdomo's mitt. Then Harper grounds into a fielder's choice, and Stott grounds out to first base. Then, again, nothing doing in the sixth inning. 1-2-3 inning there for Aaron Nola, including another strikeout, this one of Gurriel. And then in the seventh inning, another ball hit deep. Oh, first off, you get robbed. You had Alec Boehm getting robbed by a diving stop by Walker at first base. Then Marsh comes in. He flies out to left field all the way to the wall again. His second warning track power, WTP, out of the ball game. Nola's still in the seventh inning. He's at 88 pitches. Rojas lines out to center field on 6 pitches. McCarthy gets a bunt single. Moreno goes up there and he strikes out looking at a sinker. Perdomo goes up there, and McCarthy steals. Now, this was an interesting play. I don't know what Trey Turner was doing, but he didn't spring up when Stubbs tried to throw out McCarthy trying to steal second base, which McCarthy did with success. It was a one-hopper that started to dribble into shallow center field. And when Turner didn't catch the ball, he didn't, spring up to go after the baseball. So McCarthy, heads-up play, jumps up and runs to third. Now, even if Turner did, I don't know if he's catching McCarthy. That ball looked like it was dribbled out there too fast, and Marsh got it before he did. So that lets you know either Turner was really not making a play on it or that Marsh is just lightning fast in center field. I'm going to go ahead and look. I looked at it again. It looked like it was happening in slow motion to Trey Turner. When I looked at it again, I went, he definitely could have fielded that baseball. It wouldn't have been – I don't know if he would have stopped McCarthy from third, but Turner should have been the one trying to stop McCarthy from third and not Brandon Marsh making the play from center field. So now you got a runner on third base. McCarthy takes third. There's a walk, a 3-2 pitch to Perdomo. First and third, 2 outs. Nola out. Soto in. Soto gets Rivera. on the high heat, strikes him out with a 99-mile-per-hour fastball. Phillies get out of that 7th inning. 8th inning, Garrett Stubbs, you beautiful man, you, gets the bunt single. 5th bunt single of the season. Schwarber walks, 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Trey Turner in the fielder's choice. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Castellanos strikes out. Turner gets a stolen base in the situation. Bryce Harper works the He gets the intentional walk. Stott, ends up striking out on a sinker, or flying out center field on a sinker. That'd be it for the 8th inning. A little bit of trouble here for Gregory Soto in the 8th inning. Marte leads things off with a single to left field in a 1-run ball game, mind you. Leads him off with a single to left field. He had him in a 1-2 count, and he lost him, unfortunately. Then Carroll gets a single. Stubbs goes up there and is able, on a bunt situation, he's able to get Carroll. Carroll gets awarded first base basically on the fielder's, not awarded, but he gets the fielder's choice. Stubbs, though, on this little, they called it a bunt. I didn't think it was a bunt. But Stubbs runs out there, makes a play on the baseball, fires to second to try to get Marte, and got him. He got the lead runner for the first out of the inning. So, yes, you have Carroll at first base, so still dangerous, but you don't have a runner. You don't have the tying run in scoring position. Great play by Stubbs there. Soto goes out. Dominguez comes in. Walker strikes out at a 96-mile-per-hour fastball away. 7-pitch at bat. He only threw him 1 slider. If you remember the night before, Sir Anthony Dominguez gave a slider up to Walker that he belted to left field. But Sir Anthony Dominguez feeling a lot better about himself today, certainly. Then he also got Gurriel to chase a slider out of the zone to get out of the inning. Kimbrel comes in the 9th inning and gets the save, despite being called for 3 automatic balls. 1, 2, 3 automatic balls called on Craig Kimbrel. You guys have seen me say this before, and I'll say it again. And PJ, I'll look to you for this. Umpires need to do what they do in the NFL with the play clock. Umpires need to see the play, okay, and then monitor the clock. And when they look over and they see the clock go 3, 2, 1, and then when they see 0, look to the pitcher, and if he's moving, don't do anything. If you go 3, 2, 1, and then you look back and he's not moving, then you call it. You got to give that downbeat, because the whole point of the pitch clock is to speed up the game. You're slowing up the game if you don't give him that downbeat. And I feel like they do that. And I feel like that's very fair. I feel like they do it in the NFL with the play clock of all things. I feel like you should be able to do it with the pitch clock. So Craig Kimbrel, he's been called just in this game alone. I think he was called for it 3 times. I think he's been called for it 3 times previously in this season, at least. So he's got 6 or 7 of these that he's been called for, unfortunately. But bottom line is, they get out of that inning. He gets the save. There was a mound conference with him and Garrett Stubbs where they looked like they didn't know what the hell they were doing, and then Craig Kimbrel just threw a fastball. And the mound conference, it worked, because I think it was Rojas that they got the strikeout there. So it worked, whatever it was. Phillies are over 500 for the first time in a month, and they have won 10 of 12. And also, it's their first series win in Arizona since 2016. Holy Stromboli. Now, I mentioned to you guys during that little spiel there, recapping the game, that Aaron Nola's batting average with nobody on, opponent's batting average is 191. With batters on, it's 304. Rob Thompson, after the game, talked about what they're trying to find in Aaron Nola when he's pitching out of the stretch.
Crazy.
Yeah, we've been digging into it. So far, not much. It just seems like every time he throws a bad pitch or a pitch that he doesn't execute, it gets hit. So, it's going through one of those times, I guess. But he's given up a home run in quite a few games in a row. But sometimes that happens, I guess.
When you say not much, what do you mean by that? Like, you haven't noticed much of a difference between?
Not really, no, not really. They're grinding on it.
There's the National Football Show there for the Jacob Media people. this isn't something that's new. I don't know what the Phillies, and with all the eyes that they have on a guy like Aaron Nola, and all the eyes they have on their starting rotation, the guy that's having the biggest struggles is the guy that you were just trying to sign to a long-term deal. What sucks is everything but that third inning. Aaron Nola was great. He was great in every inning, but of his 7 innings that he put out there, he was great, except for that third inning. And that's when he had runners on, and that's when he really struggled. I don't know what it is. I don't have a keen enough eye to be like, oh, well, he's like fanning his mitt a little too much here when guys are on and he's tipping his pitches or whatever it is. I don't know. But Rob Thompson is telling you that they're on it and they can't figure it out either. So that, I'll tell you what bothers me about that. Obviously, it's the result. 300 batting average, that's terrible. But I'll tell you what really bothers me about it is that means, I mean, you can't see what's between the guy's ears. So when it comes to evaluating Aaron Nola between not having runners on and having runners on, and why the results are so unbelievably different from when he's pitching out of the stretch from the versus the windup, that means it's between the ears. It doesn't mean that he's fanning his mitt or he's holding the baseball different or his toes are pointed in a different direction or his elbow's a little wider or anything like that. It just shows you it's between the ears. And that's not good. It's certainly not the yips by any means, but I think it's a low form of it. If they're watching him like a hawk and they're going over the tape time and time again and they can't figure it out, that just means it's between the ears. And that is the biggest worry you can have. It's the, oh my God, I better make this pitch. Oh my God, I better make this pitch. Oh my God, I better make this pitch. And it doesn't make the pitch. And then the other team's hitting 300. So that's not good. That is not good. Phillies are back at it tonight. Oh, how dare I? I loved what Bryce Harper had to say. So the Phillies are going on to face the Oakland A's. 3-game series in Oakland. It's just been approved for them to move to Las Vegas, where both Bryson Stott and Bryce Harper are from. So Bryce Harper got asked the question. You know, the most classic case is Ken Griffey Jr. going back to play in Cincinnati, right? His hometown. He wants to go play in Cincinnati. Okay. Do you want to go play there, right? So they asked Bryce Harper, do you want to go play in Las Vegas? At some point in your career, do you want to go play in Las Vegas? Now, 4 seasons ago? He's got 9 years left on his deal. 4 seasons ago, Bryce Harper signed a 13-year deal to play here in Philadelphia. Bryce Harper said, if I'm playing in Las Vegas, that means something drastically wrong happened in Philadelphia. He went on to say, I'll die. I want to die in a Phillies uniform. Don't talk like that, Bryce Harper. Don't talk like that. But, yeah, I thought the same thing. If you're asking him if he wants to play for the Las Vegas Athletics, the LVAs, if you're asking him that question, that hints at the scenario that things went awry in Philadelphia. So I love the answer from Bryce Harper, and that's exactly what you want to hear when you have a guy signed on a 13-year deal at $330 million. Don't you be talking about, flaunting it or for other teams? I don't want to hear that. I understand you got to ask the question. Especially if you're in Arizona, especially if you're out there on the West Coast. You want to ask that question. But there's no better way to answer it. And how about this? It was the 10-year anniversary 2 days ago of That's a Clown Question, Bro. When Bryce Harper was I believe a 19-year-old or 20-year-old playing for the Nationals, and he was playing north of the border in Toronto. And a reporter asked him after the game, his first Major League home run? He said, oh, how are you going to celebrate your first Major League home run? Do you have a favorite beer? And I'll tell you this, man. Harper gave him a glare. Where the drinking age in Canada is 18. It's not 21 like the United States. Harper gave him a glare and said the famous, that's a clown question, bro. That's a clown question, bro. And then you can hear like the PR guy in the background like, hey, come on, man, don't ask him that. The drinking age is 21. He goes, not in Canada. Okay, dude. Okay. Phillies and A's get underway tonight. 9:40, another 9:40 time tonight. This one in, of course, a little town called Oakland. For now, Taijuan Walker will get the start. He is not allowed to run, knock on wood, not allowed to run. Whoop, there we go. He's not allowed to run in his last 2 starts. So let's hope that keeps going. Phillies will be facing a left-handed pitcher tonight for the Oakland A's, who's coming off a pretty solid start. J.P. Sears, 1-3 on the season with a 4.15 ERA. He allowed just 2 earned runs in 5 innings on 6 hits against the Milwaukee Brewers, who, by the way, the Phillies leapfrogged in the standings. They now just have, who is it? The Marlins? I believe it's the Marlins ahead of them in the National League wild card standings. So that's where you go right there. Hey, remember yesterday when I was talking about the 76ers and I told you how 2 days prior, if you asked me, hey, Mark, in your infinite knowledge, do you think the 76ers are going to bring back James Harden? I would have told you 99.9%, nope, not happening. Now, I also told you that I don't really want Bradley Beal. If you're asking me Bradley Beal or James Harden, I'd rather have Bradley Beal. Then a little story came out from Doc Rivers, and we played the cut, as a matter of fact, of Kendrick Perkins on ESPN talking about James Harden getting Doc Rivers fired. And it really started to make the wheels turn again about different scenarios. Like when we listened to Nick Nurse say, when he was asked the question, do you want James Harden back? And he went down the road of James Harden's a great player. That automatically makes you think, oh, no, he doesn't want him back. Now, he answered the question eventually by saying, and credit to Howard Eskin, who pushed him. He said, if Bryce Harper, if James Harden is here, I'm a happy man. Okay. So when I listen to read these stories about what's going to happen with Harden's future and whether or not the Sixers are going after him, how he's going to Houston, now he's torn between Houston and Philadelphia, and now the Sixers are making him a top priority, which is a story that came out yesterday from Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports. I went from yesterday 99.9% sure going into yesterday that the Sixers were not going to bring James Harden back. After yesterday, I then thought, nope, it's about 85%. Then looking at the story from Jake Fisher, I'm like, I would now give it a 50-50. I am now down to 50-50. If Daryl Morey is really going to make this the priority, then Daryl Morey is going to make it happen. Them two are boys. I now think it's a coin toss. And look, I don't want James Harden back. I have told you guys I am all for the term gap year, which has recently come out describing the Sixers not having Harden, not having Beal, just having the season with Tobias Harris still being here and Tyrese Maxey being here, the facilitator. And Joel Embiid, of course, playing at an MVP level during the regular season, and hopefully the same thing in the playoffs. And Nick Nurse is your new head coach, and let's see how he organizes the talent that's here on the roster. And Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet most likely here as well. And other acquisitions to help you make this team a little bit better without James Harden. It is. It's. I don't say it with great happiness. I don't say it with great happiness that the Sixers are now going to make it a 50-50 shot with signing James Harden. If the Sixers do, in fact, bring him back for what will be his third season with the Sixers, second full season with the Sixers, please somehow don't. $210 million over 4 years on a max contract for James Harden seems ridiculous. Is ridiculous. And I can't afford to have this Sixers fan base wallowing in the contract hell that would be. Maybe they again meet in a happy area where he somehow just works out a better player option for 1 year, signs a 1 year deal with the Sixers, and then he goes back to Houston, runs it back one more time here in Philadelphia. But after last year taking a $15 million pay cut, I don't think James Harden's going to do that. So that makes me nervous that they're going to get pretty close to $210 million. if not all of $210 million. If Daryl Morey does it, give me, God, please don't make it more than 1 year. Just don't make it more than 1 year, please and thank you. So that's the latest on the Sixers right now. According to Jake Fisher, they are making James Harden the top priority, and they are not in pursuit of Bradley Beal. So that's where we're at right now, according to Jake Fisher, when it comes to the 76ers squad. I mentioned it to start the show. I love John LeClair. He was my guy, man. Growing up, I loved John LeClair. I loved Eric Desjardins. Those are my Flyers, man. Those are my number one guys. When all the other kids were putting on the Lindros jersey, I was like, no. I like the guy who's standing in front of the net who just takes a beating every night but still gets you 50 goals. That's my man, Johnny LeClair, the American Johnny LeClair, ladies and gentlemen. And the Flyers have brought him back in a advisory role in the front office. They have brought back Patrick Sharp, another analyst turned front office guy. And now they've brought in John LeClair. Now, this is what I was saying earlier about possibly suckering us, right? Are they starting to put people in the organization? Sorry, I mispronounced that. I'm talking hockey. Are they starting to put people in the organization that are just going to be feel-good stories for us? Because, if I see John LeClair at a Flyers game, I'm going to be happy. If I see Patrick Sharp, I'm going to think, oh, what could have, if he would have stayed here in Philadelphia, oh, he had a great career in Chicago. If Ken Hitchcock just had a little bit more patience with this guy. Oh, my goodness. You know? Maybe it wouldn't be the Flyers losing them in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2010. Maybe not. But Jonesy, I mean, you look at Jonesy, and you just can't not look at Jonesy and be happy. Like, Jonesy's just a fun dude. And I do think he'll be great in this role. Danny Briere, I just remember him being incredible in postseason runs for the Flyers. Not winning, unfortunately, but just having incredible postseason runs. So if they're doing what they used to do with the new brand of Flyer, with no longer relying on Broad Street bullies, for instance, and now relying on more so the guys that were just there at the tail end of the best runs of Ed Snyder's career, or post-70s, of course. The guys, let me rephrase that. If they're just going to guys that were really the last to experience the Ed Snyder, the true Ed Snyder era of Flyers hockey, then they're trying to bring that back to our minds as well as guys that watch. It's people that watched Keith Jones and John LeClair and Danny Briere play that last little run that the Flyers had with Ed Snyder running the ship. And if that's what they're trying to harken back to, you know what? I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Oh, you didn't win. I understand that, but they still haven't won without that. I don't remember Chuck Fletcher playing for the 70s Flyers, all right? I don't remember that. It didn't work. I don't remember Dave Hackstall playing for the 70s Flyers. It didn't work. Alain Vigneault went to, what was it? Took two different teams to the Stanley Cup Finals. Didn't do it here. Hey, he got the Flyers past the first round of the playoffs, which was a miracle in its own right. He wasn't here for Ed Snyder. Neither was John Tortorella. Hopefully John Tortorella will be the guy taking past the second round of the playoffs. But they're not going to do that until they rebuild this thing. And now they're going to rebuild it with a different era of the Ed Snyder era, a different portion of the Ed Snyder era, the last of it, as a matter of fact. I just want to know that my team's relevant, man. I just want to know that my team's relevant again. I don't want to be looking at a lottery pick, and you're going to be looking at the 7th pick in the NHL draft and the 22nd pick in the NHL draft, thanks to the first move Danny Briere made as a general manager in trading Ivan Provorov. Make the hits keep on coming there, Danny Briere. Keep on bringing in talent. Keep on bringing in assets to help turn this thing around, because what every Flyers fan wants right now isn't just the feel-good stories of people in the front office, which, yes, I am admitting, thank you. It's nice to see these guys attached to the front office, whether it be Briere, Jonesy, or whether it now be Johnny LeClair. You really got me there with John LeClair in the front office now as a advisor in the front office. But the proof's got to be in the pudding. And I think most Flyers fans are going to give this a couple years before they want to see it really turning around and showing the fruits of the labor of the, God forbid I use this word, but the organization going into a process. It's not just going to be a tank. It's going to be a process. Let me tell you about Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row. For over 40 years, Steven's been in the love business in Philadelphia, helping people fall in love and get engaged each and every day. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, the perfect price, online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. How about the amazing people at Manscaped? Sunday, Father's Day. Go to manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping with promo code Farzy. That's 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code Farzy at manscaped.com. Join 4 million men who trust Manscaped. You'll love their Platinum Package 4.0, which is their best hygiene bundle yet. It includes their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, as well as their Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. And yes, they come with skin-safe technology that helps you reduce the risk of nicks, so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. So make sure you guys check out Manscaped, manscaped.com. How about Freestone Farm CBD? FreestoneFarmCBD.com. You'll love the tropical tasting Bayox that clocks into the chart topping 24.1%, and Super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, at 21%. Genetics of these guys are off the charts. So try Freestone Farm CBD at Freestone Farm CBD. All the premium hemp flowers grown in the Garden State. So hey, source local. Freestone Farm CBD, FreestoneFarmCBD.com. What the hell? What else am I telling you guys about? I'm telling you guys about PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. Go to PHLSportsStation.com. By the way, I was on, totally unrelated, just the fact that they use the same letters. I was on Sports Scene with my friend Jason Lee yesterday. Talking, the hell what were we talking about? We were talking about the Sixers. Talking about we didn't even talk about the Phillies. Talking about the Eagles. Talking about the Flyers. We didn't even get to talk Phils. Before I get to the chat check, I promised you guys some numbers, and I know numbers are always fun. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't just Schwarbombs and strikeouts in the month of June. Okay, people? Nick Castellanos in the month of June. 415 with a 441 on base percentage. Bryson Stott, 349 batting average. 417 on base percentage. Trey Turner, 308 in the month of June. 379 on base percentage. You just love to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, you just love to see it. Let's get into the chat check and see how you beautiful people are doing on this fine morning. I'm going to start it over here on the Farzy Show page. Where you at? There you at. Why is this not working? Oh, there we go. Sean Kilrain, what's going on? Dan Schwartz, oh my God, actually interacting with the cannon right now. Someone pinch me. Well, Dan, you made great fan art. And by the way, I did look it up. You do not have to be naked to do fan art. You do not have to be naked. So, Dan, thank you. This is still some fan art. There you are. I think I look great. Thank you, Dan. Dan Schwartz, James Harden being a priority makes me sick, literally, physically ill. Dan, you should call out of work today. Why? What's wrong? I'm sick. Oh, really? What's wrong? James Harden is the top priority for the 76ers. That's what I want. Somebody, please, if you have a cool boss, record the conversation. I just want to hear what happens. Oh, by the way, yeah, man, boy, Little Toots is really sick last night, man. Oof, poor kid. Maybe a stomach bug. Hopefully not. T-Bro. Back in High Scoop, they called Farzy the cannon for other reasons. Thank you, T-Bro. Dan Schwartz. Oh, speaking of sick, I was listening to John Johnson this morning, and they had to close the visitors' announcer section because it's over with possums? What? Oh, text John. I don't know what you're talking about there, Dan. But now I really want to Google possums. Hold on a second. Now, are you putting me on there, Daniel? Have you seen anything about this, PJ? Anything about possums? I'm going to just do Phillies, and let's just see what happens here. Hold on a second. Hold on a minute. Please tell me this is real. Oh, please tell me. Oh, my God, it's real. For different reasons. In the 19 teens, ladies and gentlemen. So I Googled Phillies and possums, okay? Here's what's George Whitted. George Whitted. Nickname of Possum Whitted. The Phillies had a guy. He won the 1914 World Series. What? As a member of the Boston. Wait, is that Boston? That'd be Boston, right? The Boston Braves. Yeah. He got a. I don't know if they did World Series rings in 1914, but anyway. And then he played for the Phillies. He never won anything again, so that's a sad story. But no, Possum Whitted, ladies and gentlemen, former Philly Possum Whitted. Oh, you guys don't remember Possum Whitted and his 269 career batting average? Nice. He had a 6 home run season for the Phillies in 1916. Get ready to go to World War I. The guy hit 6 home runs. His career high was 7, though, and he did that for the Pirates. So, all right, let me go back and see if there's anything else on possums. Dan, if you're still watching, was there anything else on possums? No? Okay, pots and pans. I'll try to get to that story another day. Mally, what's going on, Mally? Dan, hi, thank you. No, being a cannon. Sean Kilrain, Stubbs came through big time, giving JT a needed rest. I concur. Mally, the word on the streets is Mark turned into Wentz yesterday. Ooh, Mally. Speaking of Wentz, who was it that gave me the football? I forget who it was. But we're throwing the football around. We're getting ready, okay? We're warming up. And somebody hands me the football, and I look at it, and there's a signature on the football, like somebody autographed the football. And I swear, there was no way you could tell. It was a gray, squiggly line. Okay. All right. I'll get thank you, PJ. I see it. It was a gray, squiggly line on the football that we were warming up with for this charity game yesterday at the NovaCare Complex. And then there's an AO1 Nation logo on it. Like somebody wrote with the same like silver Sharpie AO1, which is the audience of one Carson Wentz thing. So were they using old Carson Wentz autographed footballs yesterday at the charity game for schmucks like myself? Possibly. Which is hilarious. I don't really want to envision him and John Gruden in a room. I don't want to. People are really trying to break that down. No, thank you. So PJ's telling me the A's broadcast booth had a couple of possums in it. So they had to relocate the away broadcasters. Thank you, PJ. Holy Lord. I told you guys my horror stories from being at that stadium. It is not good, man. It is well past time to move. Mally, that Turner infield single, that hustle to first, it was great. Love seeing it. Sean Kilrain, with Nola with the player lately, what do you do? See as definitely not a number 1. To me, he's a 2 or 3. I mean, he's been pitching like a 3. I'm not a wait and see guy, but as of right now, you're not signing this version of Aaron Nola to a long-term deal. At this point in the season, let's go through the numbers real quick with Aaron Nola. I want to see where he's at with that ERA because it is unfortunately nothing worth bragging about, folks. So Zach Wheeler's ERA of your starters, Zach Wheeler is at 373. Ranger Suarez is at 382. Aaron Nola is now at 466. Taijuan Walker's at 467. So Taijuan Walker's your 4th starter. And he has an ERA that is only 1/100th of a point higher. This is a guy that's supposed to be ace 1A or ace 1B, and a guy you're considering signing to a long-term deal, and Taijuan Walker has the identical ERA. In one less start, Taijuan Walker will get the start tonight, as I said. How is Taijuan Walker 6-3 on the season? That's insane. And they have the same amount of wins as well. The best stat from Aaron Nola yesterday was 7 innings. And as I have said in the past, if you're an ace of the staff, the best thing about your starts shouldn't be that you really ate up innings for your ball club. Like that's not a compliment. Anyway, back to the chat check. We can't pay Nola the huge contract. I agree. Oh, that's Babs. That's the Jacob Media. I'll get over to you guys in 1 second. No doubt. Oh, Mihai Sanchez, what's up? No doubt after the normal Nola blow-up inning, this lineup is too hot. Nola can go down to the Reading fighting Phils. Nola is a long-term Phil, not just the ones in Philadelphia, not an ace. Meanwhile, 2 of 3 in Oakland would be solid since sweeps are hard and Oakland A's are playing well. Ring the bell. Mihai, just take it to him, baby. Just take it to him. Technically being Sean Gillespie says, what's up, Sean Gillespie? Dan Schwartz, technically being the worst can give you relevancy. 150 to 1 to win the Stanley Cup. Get your bets in. Dan Schwartz, the term tank has also been attributed to the cannon when he bowls over defenders and avoids them pulling the flag off. The cannon has went full tank mode. Yeah. That's amazingly accurate artwork, Cannon, of the cannon. Thank you, Sean Gillespie, for acknowledging Dan's work. It was great work. T-Bro, happy Father's Day to you, Farzy, and everyone else. All the dads there, go Fightins. Thank you, T-Bro. Back at you, man. All the Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody. I don't like my birthday. I don't even care much for Christmas. Christmas Eve is a different story. Christmas Eve is the greatest day of the year. After Christmas Eve, the greatest day of the year is Father's Day. I love it. I love being a father. I love that it's your day. And I totally get it. Like, why do you have to have a day dedicated to dads or moms or have these days you should always appreciate? Yeah, but if you have one specific day out of 365, observe. I'm actually not playing golf this year on Father's Day with my dad. Instead, he's just going to come over to the new house and probably a little barbecue, a little swim, a little barbecue, a little swim, do a little Phillies post game. Maybe do it with my dad. He would not like that. My dad is not for the camera. My dad does not. Something about it. Just doesn't like witnesses, I think. Something about that. I'm kidding. All right, Jacob Media YouTube channel. What's going on there, people? Babs. What's up, Babs? King Pooty TV leading it off over here. I'm over the whole Maury Harden era, to be honest. Our Sixers have been treading water since Colangelo sabotaged us. The NBA sabotaged us. Not optimistic about 23-24 season. King Pooty TV. I could not agree more. I hate that. Look, I think you made a very accurate statement. I wish it wasn't accurate, but it's a very accurate statement. I'm with you. Night Shifter 215, what's going on? All of the radio hosts in Philly of all the radio hosts in Philly right now, you remind me of Cataldi the most? Your personality and voice inflection? Really? I mean, I obviously worked with Angelo for like 13 years. Oh, that's interesting. Babs, what's up, Babs? Thank you I have Babs. That's very nice of you, but I have friends over there that people that I respect and think do a great job. You can't pay Nola a huge and Babs says you can't pay Nola a huge contract. Overrated. I agree. Stott is Harper's son. Bryce. They are very similar. Very, very similar. Farzy, as soon as the Nationals let Harper leave, they won the World Series. Pretty weird, huh? Babs, I concur. It is really weird. Farzy, Beal has a no-trade clause, no-trade contract. Sixers aren't on his list of teams that he would go to. Very true. You have seen, yes, that's true. He has a very rare no-trade clause in his contract where he basically can make the trade. That's why you're seeing him and his agent working with the Wizards to actually make the trade. It's rare. It's not always in the NBA, but yes, it does seem like you go wherever you want, but he literally has it in writing. That's funny. King Pooty TV. What's going on? Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Phillies tonight, 9:40. We'll try to win their 5th game on this 7-game road trip, which would be a nice thing. Taijuan Walker will be on the hill for the Phillies. Look forward to seeing how he deals for the Phils. Dan Schwartz, what? I thought we were playing golf, son. That's the Morning Rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Now, I will be back with you guys tonight on the Jacob Media YouTube channel for the Phillies post-game show. And then I'll be back with you guys on Sunday for the Jacob Media Phillies post-game show. But Saturday, Well, not only is it Father's Day on Sunday, but Saturday, my wife and I are celebrating our 5-year wedding anniversary. So I am not going to be available for Saturday. My wife and I are going on a little trip, but I'll be back for Sunday's postgame show. So don't you worry about that. Also, hey, if you really like me, I'll be back on with Birds 365 in a little over an hour. So make sure you guys stay tuned right here to the Jacob Media YouTube channel. Watch this show again, see fine artwork, like this. That was derived from an incredible play like this 4 years ago. Shame I couldn't do it yesterday. For the people on the podcast, for a record 999th time, I have played a clip of me throwing a touchdown pass in a charity flag football game. So, yeah. Anyway, be back with you guys in a little bit for the Jacob Media Birds 365, Jody Mac, Johnny Mac. Then I'll be back with you guys for the Phillies postgame show. And then throughout the weekend, sprinkled in, a mishmash, if you will. Thanks for watching, everybody. You guys are great. Have a wonderful Father's Day if I don't see you or talk to you guys. And Jim Harden produced the program. Jim's a cat dad. Happy Father's Day, cat dad. There you go. I am not. My wife has cats. I do not. Have a great day, everybody. See you later. Bye.